Hello and welcome. I'm Lufreli Sandoval, and today I will talking to you about my case study in mini ethnography. Okay. So to start, let's talk about my friend. Okay, Angeles Fitness. So her name is Angela Fitness. She is a Venezuelan girl. She's from Venezuela. She was born there. She's now 18 years old. The last year, her family decided to move to USA, and this decision brought to her new situations, of course. She is now dealing with a different culture, a different language, and she already finished her studies in the USA. However, the beginning wasn't easy as everything. So I decided to talk about her and about immigrated students because this is a topic very important. I think it's a topic that is very important, and I didn't find another thing or another close person that I could talk about to do my interview. So I didn't have a LGTV. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but I don't have a friend that belongs to that organization, and I also don't have a friend. Well, of course I do have a friend with mental issues, but I didn't want to talk to her about that. She didn't want to talk to me either about that problem, so I of course respected that. So I work with my friend Angeles. So yeah, that's why I decided to work with her. And I thought this is a very simple theme, a topic to talk. It's easy and faster, but I think if we deepen this concept, we're going to find things that really can affect an student. And I'm telling this because I lived this. I went through all that she went through, and even worse. So yeah, let's talk about her and my interview with her. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I wanted to talk. I really felt like I should talk about this. The background of the hard decision that a people or a person do when he is about to take the decision to immigrate. So, according to the 2018 Venezuela Humanity Mobility Report, that the causes of the reasons or the reasons of those who emigrate are the right to live, the freedom, security, food, health, to live a dynamic life, and to have a peace of mind. The problem, the Venezuela is facing a problem with its economy. So I'm not going to talk about this, but this problem is affecting all of us because I'm from Venezuela too. So it's truly, these causes or reasons are true. They move to another country for the security, the health. It's the most important because this one was one because of my family emigrated. So besides of this, I wanted to talk how hard it is to make the decision. Most of the people think that it's just to move from Venezuela to another country, and that's all. The only thing that you have to change is your language, and yeah, everything is perfect. It's different, but it's perfect. But besides that, we have the cultural shock that we will have as persons, as people that are not from that country. But I wanted to talk about the feeling of that. how emotional fragile you are when you take the decision, or how fragile you stay when you already took the decision. When we immigrate, I'm talking and I'm taking the advantage to talk like this because I lived that, I went through that, so I have my own experience. And is that when someone immigrates, we have to be clear and to, of course, think that they left their family. They left their family, their homes where they grew up. They left their pets, their job, their friends. They left their friends. They left everything that they owned. All the things that they work hard for. They just left them. And you are on a mental stage that everything that you can deal with depression, anxiety, because you're changing. And this affect more the adults. We might think that a young woman or a young boy will be affected, but I'm 100% sure that an adult can be more affected than teenagers. So yeah, we emigrate to have a peace of mind about the temporal things here on earth, about the things that we work for. But emotionally, we don't have peace of mind. We miss everyone. We miss our families. We missed everything. So this is what I want to talk about. And I decided to talk about this because this can affect a lot. This can be one of the aspects or one of the reasons why immigrated students have a negative impact on the education systems. Okay, but we're going to talk about this on the next flyer. Okay, a student in a USA school, Angeles, of course, she could enroll in high school because she has to keep her studies, as a normal teenager. So when she was talking to me, she told me how different everything was. She told me the schedule, it's pretty different. Here in Venezuela, we just go to school at 7 a.m. and then we leave the school at 12 p.m. That's the schedule. Those are the hours that we stay at school. She told me, here it's totally different. Here, I eat the lunch here in high school. I've never eaten lunch before in my school. So yeah, I had never eaten my lunch in my school, and now here I have to. The subjects are different. The subjects are different. She told me that there were very different objects, but it was something that helped her because she could enroll in clubs. She was so excited about it. And another thing is that there was a fact that she thought that nobody will notice, but it was that she was not from that country. She was not native of that country in USA. So I'm not talking about all the aspects that were so different, but this causes to her a lot of anxiety and depression. She was feeling very sad. She was so nervous. She told me that she was so nervous the first day of school. She was scared. She was so scared of the racism, the bullying, the xenophobia. She told me I was so scared of that, and I was scared because I know that happened, and she told me that she told me, I really thought that I was not prepared to deal with that. So I was so scared of that. And as Angeles, I felt that way before. When I was studying in Aruba, I had this feeling of sadness all day, every week, every month. I was like this like for 6 months. I never felt happy when I was there. And of course it was affecting my grades, and but I didn't know why. I felt depression, and I can relate her to her. She told me I was so nervous, and I have anxiety. I'm sorry. For the first day of school, then she told me everything was great, but then the cultural shock impacted her so hard that she was getting so stressed, and she didn't have the time. She didn't know what to do to deal with that. So these are the factors that affected her, and I would like to read this text of the definition of immigrant background in PICA. In many countries and economies, no matter their level of achievement as an education system, students with an immigrant background continue to have poor outcomes in schools than students without an immigrant background. And I talked about the background of the decision later, because that affects what might think as Angeles. What affected her was the different culture, the different times. She was trying to slowly take the piece, but she couldn't. So that was stressing her. But many students have that fragile state of mind that can make them don't let them do their best in school. So that's what I wanted to talk about that later. So these are the statistics, so it's totally true. I mean, when you're out of your comfort zone, everything's stressing you, and as we have learned, our brain that is stressed doesn't work the same as a brain that doesn't have stress on it. So this can be one of the aspects that really affects a student, or affect me as a student. What was one of the things that made Angeles feel less stressed? When she went to the first day of school, she was so nervous and to talk with the other students, because she realized how her pronunciation, or how funny her pronunciation was. But she told me, I was so thankful that my friends, all my classmates, were so patient and lovely with me. They didn't care if I mispronounce something. They just say nothing, or one told me that, oh, it's not apple, it's apple, like that. So I was so thankful for that. Another thing that helped her a lot was the teacher. She said my professor was the best. I asked her 10 questions, and she was never tired of me or annoyed by me. So they were patient too. Another thing that of course helped her was her family, her mom. She told me how her mom was with her every day that she came back came back of school. She was sitting with her at the table, and then work on her homework, trying to know the new words, to learn vocabulary.